Yes, and we are live. We are live, YouTube.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew, and welcome to the Sound Live. I have a special guest today, Kyle Walz. Kyle is a singer, a songwriter, and a guitarist. Kyle has a
Woo!
brand new album he's releasing on YouTube called Blood Candy. While we're waiting to get some people on here watching our stream, why don't you tell us a little bit about your music and your album?
Sure. Yeah. At the end of 2019, I was looking through some new music that I had, and I thought, hey, I think I'll do the cool kid thing and put out an EP. And as I started to record, I realized that I had a few more songs than just for an EP. So that was a lot of fun to put that together. And as 2019 ended, I thought, I'm just going to put out a song a month in 2020, starting in February. And, I had enough songs, 11 songs. So that gave me about a year before the real release. So that was a lot of fun to put that out there. I did win some recording time in Nashville. So that was cool. I got to do guitar for 3 songs. I recorded vocals for 3 songs, but used like 1.5 because I didn't like how one turned out.
Sure.
But I got all that recording audio and got to produce or mix, produce, and master all at home. So that was cool to get all that put together. Always good times when you get a project like that done, you know?
Yeah, I do apologize for the Indonesia time right here. Kyle, my friend here, is in a different time zone than me, and he also has a full-time job, so I have to work around that schedule.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to premiere the clips from this though at a good local Indonesian time for you guys. So my wife was watching my live streams and she said, "Honey, you know, the peacock thing, you're overdoing it a little bit." so I think
You're too proud.
So I think this stream is going to look a little bit better, a little bit more pleasing to the eye. She was just like, All right, guys. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off with a double feature react here.
Right.
The first one that I want to do here is it's leading to some Alip Bata. This has been extremely highly recommended. Carry by Europe. Well, the thing is that I'm not familiar with that song. The band Europe, the song Carry. I didn't spoil it. I just played a couple of bars from it just to see if I was familiar with the tune. Fast forwarded it to the chorus a little bit, and I don't know this song. So before I can really react to a leap, you know what I'm saying? I want to know what he's doing. Are you familiar with the song, Kyle?
I don't know. As we were talking about this, I'm not sure because when you say carry, I always think of that one song, Carry. People always get the words wrong, but it sounds like carry a laser down the road you're going to travel. I forget what the words really are, but I was thinking of that. I was very familiar with Europe growing up, but I'm drawing a blank, so this will be good to hear this song. You know, and
If
get
nothing
that
else,
bass
it'll be
line.
a review for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a review down memory road. Remind me how old I am. So,
So to all our leapers there, we got Kopi Mana Cold Brew here, everybody. Have your coffee and enjoy it with us. We're going to be having a really good time here. And so, you know, this is just so much fun. So let's just take a second and, you know, while I'm doing these last couple of preparative things for us here, let's just talk about Kyle. Let's subscribe to Kyle because Kyle's awesome. He's got a really cool channel. And make sure you like this stream so we can get some people watching it. And
make sure you share it out too.
Please share this stream.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, wherever you share your stuff. So that'd be good.
Absolutely.
Help us out.
Absolutely. Please share. And are you ready there, Kyle?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and it is the correct window. All right. The stream gods are smiling on me today. So, without further ado, music teacher and Kyle Walz react to Europe Carry official video. Here we go.
So it'd be great vaporwave.
It's pretty.
When lights go down, I see no reason for you to cry. We've been through this before, in every time, in every season. God knows I've tried, so please don't ask for more. Can't you see it in my eyes? That this might be our last goodbye.
I
Carry,
remember that.
carry. Things they change, my friend. Oh, carry, carry. Maybe we'll meet again somewhere again. I read your mind with no intention of being unkind. I wish I could explain. It all takes time, whole lot of patience. If it's a crime, how come I feel no pain? Can't you see it in my eyes? This might be our last goodbye. Carry, carry. Oh, things they change, my friend. Oh, carry, carry. Maybe we'll meet again. Can't you see it in my eyes? This might be our last goodbye. Oh, carry, carry. Oh, things they change. Carry, carry, carry. Carry. Maybe we'll meet again. Oh, somewhere again. When lights go down.
Oh, that was so quintessential 80s. I had
Oh, yeah.
friends in high school that looked exactly like that. The hair, we had the goofy jackets with the shoulder pads, the silly pattern, the piano player. It was, I'm trying to think. It was like little. It was like the backdrop of a photo. That print on a jacket. Man, that I don't know if I should be embarrassed to say I had friends that looked like that. I'm not going to mention myself. I'm just leaving that out. That took me back though. When the chorus started, I remember that song. I remember seeing this on TV, and this was freshman year for me of high school. So
Right on.
I'm an OG of cheese rock.
Well,
So
I I'm still not familiar with that song. Like I've definitely heard some Europe. I definitely know the Final Countdown. That's one that I definitely know really well.
Oh yeah.
I some of their songs, are if I heard them, I would recognize. I don't know. I somehow missed that one. I liked it though. It was just beautiful piano, and I really enjoyed the progression on the chorus. It was nice. It descends down to the 4 chord and then rides back up to the 6 chord and then the 5. It's just a nice. I don't know. It sounded really good. I enjoyed it. The vocals are extremely pharyngeal. Like he was really belting a lot, using a lot of that nasality, a lot of that sound like really aggressive. To have that razor edge on the voice, that 80s, right? You know what I'm talking about?
That's what I was gonna say. Bands like Loverboy, and it seemed like all these bands that they weren't playing like they're kind of playing pop metal. It wasn't quite hair metal. I wouldn't really call these guys hair metal. But if you played something that kind of sounded like hair metal, but you had a synthesizer in your band, that's like these guys, Loverboy, and a bunch of other bands. And all the singers just had that high tenor range. They're singing, what was that, like C to E on the E string. Forget what that is. C2 or C. Yeah, I guess C2 to. I forget my ranges. I'm thinking too much here. But yeah, you're describing that very well. That 80s sound for male singers.
Well, remember, I was just editing our video of Diana Ankudinova. I was just editing it. I'm trying to say it right. I swear to God, I'm getting better. I'm trying. Anyway, Diana. I've been working with her. The video that we did, responding to it, it's going to be coming out probably at least a month from now. I don't know because we got a big old schedule going. But we were talking about this. We were talking about belting. And we were talking about belting over that low larynx sound. Well, this was different. The reason why I bring it up is because it's opposite. Like, rather than belting over a low larynx sound, a carry. That's not what it sounded like at all. It was more of a slightly raised larynx, right? Carry. More of that, right? And so that is actually done by taking your larynx, your voice box, and instead of lowering it for a classical sound, you kind of raise it a little bit for kind of a cutesy, kind of nerdy boy. Like for a boy anyway, it sounds kind of nerdy or kind of, kind of pinchy sounding. Yeah. And so that can actually, with the right voice, somebody that's voice is already high enough, that can really lead to that really cutting sound that's just, it's just way on top of the mix, even though it might not be that loud. And one other thing I wanted to point out about the mix, especially just the keyboards were so heavy in the mix. And I think that's what you're talking about. When you're talking about pop metal or pop rather than hair metal, it was more like pop metal, right? And when I was reacting to the Porcupine Tree, I felt the same way. Like it was very keyboard heavy. And yet there was elements of metal in it, right? But it didn't really, to me, feel all the way like metal because it was so keyboard heavy. The keyboards are, higher pitched, and especially with that 80s EP sound, right? The cheesy keyboard sound, right? It's so pretty and beautiful, and it was so necessary in its time, but it's also so dated as well.
Yes.
So, like, if you want to bring that back, I really liked it. You have any more comments about the Europe version before we go on to Elite?
Oh, it just reminds me of every high school dance slow song for me. Not in a way to criticize, but just a way to categorize. Like every 80s pop metal, they needed that ballad. That, and kind of like one, I forget which video we reacted to and mentioned Green Day always having that Pretty song. Mm-hmm. That same type of thing. These 80s bands, it's like you need that hit single. You need to make people slow dance, and so this was very much their ballad for that, which is always fun. I'm sorry, I'm getting nostalgic thinking of stupid 15-year-old me.
The song that really is more from my youth than Carrie is Sarah, right? Sarah,
Yeah.
Sarah, no time
Right.
is a good time for goodbye. That's the one that's more like, that was my jam when I would go to the roller skating rink or whatever, like 10 years
Yeah.
old or however old I was. I'm learning to skate, like they're playing that, and I'm like singing along while I'm skating. Yeah, I didn't really know
Yeah.
Carrie, but it's sort of the same kind of a vibe, right? Sort of, not exactly.
Right,
Different band.
yeah.
What was that? Starship? I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Okay,
sure.
I'm trying. I don't
Yeah,
have all,
it's
all
taking
the
me
stuff
back.
memorized.
Yeah, we're turning into a trivia show.
Right on. Do you have a
Oh, that's
leap all
fun.
ready to go?
Give me about. Did you send me a link? Yes, you did.
Yes, I
So
did.
Give me about
I was
3
on top of
seconds
that
or
one.
2.
the
Yeah.
first one I brain farted. Man, you wouldn't believe. The second time I was live with Jennifer, right? I was trying. This was after we did it, and we figured out the links on Facebook thing. I forgot to tell her about all that. So we're live, and I'm about to start. I was like, "Are you ready?" And she's like, "Well, ready for? I'm going to be able to see it, right?" Oh my God! I forgot to tell you. So I was like, "Okay, guys,
That's
we're live.
hilarious,
So let me
man.
explain to Jennifer things I should have done 5 minutes ago. Here we go." Are you all set?
Oh, that's awesome. Yep.
All right. So without further ado, the reason why we did Europe version of Carrie is because we want to react, at least I wanted to react to Elite Bata's version of Carrie. And so without further ado, Music Teacher reacts to Elite Bata's fingerstyle acoustic guitar cover of Carrie by Europe. Here we go. Yeah.
I like that arrangement.
I'm so
It's
glad I went and
really
got the
really
context
nice
too.
to yeah. It
All
seemed
right,
that
so
and I noticed this a lot with Alip's playing that did you notice that the tempo seemed a little slower? Just making sure that wasn't just me.
maybe a little bit. Yeah,
Seemed
he
like the
he doesn't he doesn't play
yeah,
fast tempos because he's got so much going on in the arrangements that playing it at full speed might just be ridiculous.
yeah. And that makes me think well, the way you phrase that, and you play with drummers, it seems kind of easy for a drummer to keep a beat pretty even, like at 110, 120 beats per minute. But if you drop down to like 65 and they're playing like some slow blues thing, a drummer my brother played with described it. I swing like a toilet seat. Bang. Bang. I thought that was a great description. But, when you play music, keeping the tempo even when it's slower,
Hmm.
that requires a lot of internal practice, with your tempo keeping. Because that's something for whatever reason, whenever I'm not thinking, I I always like to play stuff fast. And
Yeah,
I don't know how much of it is just me being hyperactive sometimes, or as a guitar player, you get in that mode of, oh, I have to shred. I got to play everything as fast as I possibly can. And it's nice to, work with a metronome or a drum beat and just chill and get
definitely,
that space.
definitely. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about with this was there was an awful lot of the different types of harmonics in this arrangement, from natural harmonics to the tap harmonics that he was doing, to the fretted tap harmonics that require both hands. Just give me one quick second. Um, I started a new series. It's going to be on Fridays, featuring Jennifer Valaket, my guitar student. We've done 3 episodes so far. We just settled into a schedule of Fridays where we're doing elite bata guitar tricks. So what I'm doing is each week I'm providing one new micro slice of what I've learned by reverse engineering this incredible guitar player, Leap. And so we've done the first thing we did was the thumb snare slap. Or the ebo. We did the ebo, and then we did the thumb snare slap, and then we did the ring finger bass drum. So next week, what I'm going to be doing, or this week on Friday, we're going to be doing natural harmonics. To a lot of guitar players, that's too easy. A lot of guitar players, you won't want to come until we get to the tap harmonic lesson and the left hand assisted tap harmonic lesson.
Yeah.
But for beginning guitar players like Jennifer, you're going to get a lot of value from learning about the natural harmonics, and we're going to study the letters of them and how they all work. And it's going to be a good time. There was an incredible amount of harmonics in this arrangement. No percussion. He didn't go the percussion route on this one. He was just strictly melody and harmony on this one, pretty much.
Well, he did the snare.
He did do the snare?
The kind of pulse with his like pinky or ring. I couldn't remember.
With the pinky nail?
I was looking.
That one?
Yeah, I think he was tapping with that, and then he did the thumb thing a couple times.
Okay.
Just enough to fill in a gap. That seems to be what he is really good at. Is you play a melody, da 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 da, da 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 da, da da. A guitar player plays something like that, but he would go da 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 da, snap, da 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 da, snap, da da da, and fill in that space with something percussive. He did that a few times, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, at least it was a less percussive
style.
arrangement, but it didn't really
Right.
need it. It
No.
didn't really need it.
Well, as a
Right.
ballad, the tempo is so chill. Everything is very, barely andante in tempo, and just kind of.
Your mic's rubbing on your shirt or something.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, it was kind of becoming regular, so I thought I'd let you know.
Yeah,
all right.
I noticed when we got ready, and with this particular shirt, I'm like, uh-oh, yeah. So I can, when it does it in my ears, it's like, it's like I'm listening to Cannibal Corpse or something.
All right. So I'm going to give just a few final thoughts about that. But while I'm doing that, are you ready for Kyle's choice? Make sure you're ready and send me the link over on the books and I'll get it set up. So make sure you take a second, like, share, and subscribe, everybody. I really love Elite Bata. I even made a playlist that's just all the videos I've done involving Elite Bata. My reactions, the one collaboration that I did, and then also the lessons. And I have some other exciting thing. Thursday, I think it's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thursday, me and Sarah are going to be going live again. So everybody, stay tuned for that. Awesome. Sarah Olson going live with me on the sound. It's exciting. All right. So we're getting ready. Oh man, I'm so glad you picked this. That's cool. That's really cool.
So you want me to set this up a little bit?
Please go for it.
All right. So a few years ago, it seemed like all the cool kids with jazz degrees from school, they were telling everybody online, if you don't know Snarky Puppy, you shouldn't be listening to music, and trying to say all these things to get people to notice this. Here is a live performance of the song Lingus. And this became very viral because the keyboard player, his name is Corey something. I'm horrible with names. The keyboard player is doing a solo. And for musicians that love to listen to improvising, music fans that love that jazz jam atmosphere, you can really get into this guy's solo and think about what he's doing musically. You can see his expression where he's playing and he's like, oh, this is dope. This is really working. And this is really fun to capture some of that live energy on video, and then you can watch it. And this is such a well shot piece of footage, from the different camera angles and things. I think you'll really like this, and you have a really good musical ear. So I'm excited to hear what you think of this guy's solo and this whole piece of music.
Cool. I am excited. I haven't had a chance, or haven't made the time rather, to dive into Snarky Puppy. It was recommended to me by Rashad Rollins, bass player for the Hot Minute. Shout out Rashad. Really good friend of mine. We played a bunch of times, playing some funk here in the Portland area, and nice. he has a high respect for Snarky Puppy and specifically the bass player from Snarky Puppy. So, are you ready, Kyle?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so without further ado, Music Teacher reacts to Snarky Puppy Lingus. We like it here live at Kyle Walz' recommendation. Here we go! wah trumpet.
Yeah.
I love the energy.
Oh yeah. They're so tight. Like the other guy just doesn't sit down.
Kopi Monokopi, everybody. That was pretty awesome. Snarky Puppy. That was impressive, dude.
Yeah. Well, and like I was saying, the way that video captures that energy, that performance is just so cool. I don't know if you noticed this. If you don't know music, like if you don't play, often in a situation like that, you would have sheets up for music, at least chord changes or something. And pretty much nobody had sheets out. There are a couple music stands, and by couple, I mean like maybe 2 or 3. All the musicians, for the most part, except for maybe those couple, were looking at each other. I mean, yeah, that was something, pre-written, pre-arranged and stuff with, gaps left for different musicians to improvise. But that's really cool for something that in depth, and they're just in the zone, and that the rest of the show is going to be like that too. And to have those moments come up like that is so awesome, for the audience, for the performers, for us to get to see it on video.
Yeah. Okay, well, here we go, guys. This is my first reaction to Snarky Puppy.
Yeah.
It drew a parallel in my mind to especially the keyboard player. And I mean, maybe it's just because this is my favorite keyboard player, but I felt like this was sort of like I'm a big fan of Dream Theater's keyboard player, Jordan Rudess, and I feel like Jordan Rudess adds that little bit of smidgen of jazz and old school piano where necessary to Dream Theater, and the phrasing is really, I think, what was, because his phrasing on the keyboard, but also I really also enjoyed the trumpet player solo. I really enjoyed the tenor saxophone solo. The trumpet solo, it sounded like it had a wah mute on it, but there was no mute. So it must have been some sort of a digital, either a wah-wah pedal or a envelope filter or something that he had in the signal.
Yeah.
For the saxophone solo, I heard like a slapback, almost like a 50s-ish kind of delay with like a very, very a reverb that was like a hall reverb, like a bright, like kind of shiny hall sound. It was great. And then that keyboard solo, man, the guy was just all over those synthesizer knobs as he was playing, like constantly tweaking the sound, and it was pretty epic. In my opinion, I feel like in the last minute or two, the keyboards might have been just a little bit too loud. Like when the whole band was going along with the keyboard player, and he was soloing in the cracks in between.
Yeah, isn't that every keyboard player's problem in a band? Playing in a bands with keyboard players, they're always too loud.
No,
at some point.
Look, I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm just saying if I was the sound guy, for the last minute or two, I probably would have shaved 1 dB off of the lead keyboard. That's off. But I loved how the dynamic shaping of that song. It was so beautiful, and I loved how right when I was about to comment, then it broke down, right? And dun, 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 dun. And you're just feeling just that, right? And then all of a sudden, and I love the phrasing. Like it was jazz phrasing with the synthesizer sounds, and so it comes across like really hip. You know what I mean? Because it's not just a piano, but he was playing like the solo like a piano player would have played it. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed that. And I felt like the drummer was really, really crucial in keeping that whole thing, because like, I swear to God, like I never heard one drum hit where there wasn't some other note happening at that precise exact moment. Not unlike
Yeah.
Not unlike Led Zeppelin when the levee breaks. Me and Jen were reacting to that. And I was saying how John Bonham played that straight beat for like ever, right? And then when it was time for everything to change, you didn't hear one drum hit that wasn't exactly on time with the change or something. He was like totally directing it. And that's what I felt like the Snarky Puppies drummer was doing. Like, because all those changes were like so like cemented. And so I don't think the drummer was improvising. Now, the trumpet player, the saxophone player, the keyboard player that played the solos, sure, but everybody else, every single note was sculpted. I mean, it was the best of both worlds. You know, it was arranged, right? So everybody had their part, but then at the same time, there was just enough flexibility in there to give it that wow. This is, you know, you can feel the vibe that lead player is riding when they're playing the solo. Like you were saying, the look on their face. I noticed the secondary keyboard player. He's like hanging his head. He's like, oh, dude, this guy's too good. Oh, shit. I mean,
yeah, that's my favorite part. When he looks away and then he just gets up and sits with the audience like, okay, I gotta sit back and watch this. and you know, when you're around other musicians and you're in a zone and sometimes they're just not looking at your face, but they're watching your fingers. Mm-hmm. You know, because it becomes, instead of having this conversation, it's like, I'm gonna watch you do this instead of just listen to you do this, you know? Mm-hmm. That stuff like that is always fun to me. Hey, here's something. A year ago or so, I was jamming with some friends. Right before, I think it was right before quarantine started. Mm-hmm. And see if you've heard of this. And watching this video made me think of it. Have you heard of vibing in a jazz musician context? Not like enjoying the music, vibing. This was something new to me, and as much as I'd heard, been around some jazz players and stuff, I was like, I never heard of someone vibing on someone, like meaning like, I don't like what you're doing, you know, and it's like, given the musician attitude or something. But the idea, because I'd always heard vibing in a context of, hey, I'm enjoying this, I'm in the groove, I'm picking up on what you're doing. But then I ran across something, like a video, obviously, talking about jazz players vibing on each other. You know, and it's like, oh yeah, they vibe and then hate on your solo. I was like, well, that's a new one for me.
Totally.
Have you ever heard of it in that context?
No. I'm glad I didn't name my show The Vibe.
Yeah. People go, you guys aren't hating on anybody. You're just...
Seriously, that actually was one of the choices I was considering, but I settled on the sound. It just, I don't know. It sits right for me, I guess. But
hey, it works. It's descriptive, you know.
Yeah, and you know, like one of the things I like is, you know, I mean, I may have started with a more narrow perspective, but we've gone in so many different directions on the sound and the sound live already, and man, really, it was really bringing me back. Like I said, was mentioning earlier, listening to our reaction to Deanna when I was editing it, listen to some of the really wise things that you said about her voice, man. People are really going to enjoy that video. It's going to be a good one. I did decide to go with the lyric video because I don't want to deal with blocking. So I did decide to go with that, just so everybody knows. So we're looking here. It's what, 23 after. You said you had to go at about half past.
Yeah, we could probably do one more.
We can do one more. All right, That's exciting. Well, okay, so I already have figured out one for next time. Okay. So it's going to be too long. We can't do it today. It's going to be too long. You won't have time. To do it.
I have one that's 4 minutes.
Okay, that'd be great.
And again, okay, all right, I'll send you that.
All right.
Coming here after getting home after work, teaching all day. It's like when I sit home, then my throat. So I'm clearing my throat a lot. So I know on this mic, I can't really block it out with my hand very well.
All right. Yeah, it's it's all good, man. We're live.
Yeah,
that's fun, man.
So you want me to talk about this while you get this set up?
Please.
All right. So one of my favorite guitar players of the last, man, 21 years. I can't believe it's been that long. Is Jack White from the White Stripes. And his new band, the Reconteurs, and I might be mispronouncing that. This is some footage I ran across live from the basement settings. And I just love how he sets up a groove. In our last reaction where I threw some things at you, or at least one song that was a little raw, I always love raw energy. And I think it's that punk in me, as I always joke, will never grow up. And Jack White, I read or heard an interview with him where he's talking about playing guitar. And he says, if you're not fighting your instrument, get a different instrument. Because he loves that battle. Because he was talking about why he plays or was playing at the time National guitars, which have like a plastic body. That I think they're from the earlier mid 60s, when, a lot of that stuff was mass produced. And he just loved these guitars because they're hard to play. And I grew up, playing a harmony, which you used to be able to get at Sears, whenever there used to be Sears. And that thing was a pain to play. Mm-hmm. But anyway, here is his band. And I love the way that he sets up a groove. I mean, to me, he is the new king of riffs from Jimmy Page and, Black Sabbath, and a lot of the people from the 60s that made that blueprint for us. Oh, and I have to say the Kinks. Can't leave out, can't mention riffs without mentioning the Kinks. So anyway, we have Consolers of the Lonely from the basement sessions of the Reconteurs.
The Raconteur. Say it.
Oh,
say it with the French. The French. The Raconteur.
Raconteur.
Raconteur. Are you all set?
That's fun. Yes, I am.
All right. So without further ado, music teacher reacts to Consolers of the Lonely by the Raconteurs, live from the basement. Here we go. One, two.
yourself alone. You're not looking for cutthroat. You're fighting the bundle. Looking for a scapegoat. You're gonna find yourself alone. Looking for sympathy. I can get you something good to eat. Haven't had a decent meal. My brain is fried. Haven't set the wing for real. My tongue is tied. My goals are getting dim. Interest is starting to wane. everything a man could want. I should complain. Conversation's getting dull. There's a constant buzzing in my ears. Sense of humor's more you know. I'm more than tears. I'm more than tears, yeah. I'm more than tears, yeah.
Cool. Neat. Neat. You know, I heard a lot of blues influence in there.
Oh,
A lot
totally.
of blues. Like, they weren't following, one of the standard progressions. But I mean, I felt that architecture in there. Mainly that you 1, 4, and 5 chords with some embellishments in there, approaching from a whole step under, whatever. But dude, and that was fun. There was like 3 or 4 different vocalists. It had different vibes at different times. It was pretty raw. It was also tight. I don't like to fight with my instrument so much, but they seem like they're pretty good at it, so that's cool.
Yeah. I'm the same
I
way,
prefer to be coddled by my instrument. I'm gonna be honest. I'm about set to order some new guitar strings. Some new saxophone reeds for the year. But that being said, man, that was really fun. I liked it, and I felt like it was just a nice, just fun, just jamming vibe. I wished I was there, freaking adding my own 2 cents. I really liked the breakdowns when the bass player went up really high. It was cool, man.
Right.
It actually, the one part where you had the 2 guys singing in harmony. The vocal style, the way the 2 guys sounded together, for some reason, it reminded me of Fish. I don't know why I shouldn't say it, because I had that thought. Are you familiar with Fish?
Yeah.
They're a really, really, really good band, but we can't really react to them because they're pretty notorious blockers. And
right.
I don't want my streams cut.
Yeah. Well, the band I was thinking of, and more for the vocal style than harmony, was the Australian band Jet. They did that song,
Jet.
Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Are you gonna be my girl? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They had that cool riff vibe, almost like, but before Kiss went disco, when it was, just about that rock, But that's what I love about Jack White. I think, he is doing a lot to keep that blues sound alive. And I noticed on the radio, like pop radio, anytime that there's like real instruments in the song, they call it alternative. But he's keeping that whole alternative, that blues vibe, and he is just that's him. Everything about him, that's it. So I love that guy. He's really inspiring to me. Because he kind of re-envisions the guitar in a way. I mean, is he doing something brand new? Of course not. But he's taking these old things and keeps pushing them forward, and like this, to me, like this, as opposed to like a Zeppelin song, those breaks, is a 4-minute piece, and probably like 30-40 seconds of this video was like the band, like, I don't know, putting tape on the fingers or whatever they were doing at the beginning. But then you have all these changes through the song. And for the current, we can't pay attention to anything longer than 20 seconds culture of a lot of people. This song has so much drama and tension. I just love that. That is such a cool thing to do. And it's blues, and it's guitar, and it's rock. I mean, the genre that's supposed to be deader than dead. These guys are keeping it raw and pure. And I just love that. That's cool.
Yeah, I sensed all that. A little bit of Zepp influence, definitely. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was cool. So the next time we get together, I need to remember this, dude. I want you to react to "The Dance of Eternity" by Dream Theater. It's an instrumental. The Snarky Puppy
Okay.
thing made me think of that, and it's probably 15 minutes or something. So that was we're not doing that right now. But
Cool.
yeah, I definitely want you to check that out because that one is pretty crazy. There's a lot of crazy meter changes in it. It's pretty notorious for that. So
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah, it's really
Cool.
fun. Um, but I wanted to just say that out loud while I was thinking it. So everybody, I really appreciate you guys being here with me today. We just kind of spontaneously decided, hey, let's do a live stream today. So we're doing one, just like me and Jennifer just did the other day. Just kind of just randomly, hey, let's do this, man. It's fun. All these clips are going to be coming out on my channel and on Kyle's channel in the coming weeks. Just enough time for you to forget about them, and then you'll get to watch them again. Make sure you like,
Right.
share, and subscribe, everybody. Check out Kyle's channel. He's got all kinds of great original music, an album, Blood Candy. This guy's great. Enjoy his music. And absolutely check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Matthews Music Lesson Studio, where you can sign up and get extra pull with those requests for live streams, for covers, for collabs, for all that great stuff. If you want music lessons from me, I do music lessons remotely anywhere in the world. All you need is a great internet connection, MatthewsMusicLessonStudio.com. And the coolest thing is you get to record the lesson on your device and keep it, right?
Cool.
So that's
Awesome.
really valuable. It's like a product, right? Then you can redo the lesson as many times as you want before you go to the next one. So check me out, MatthewsMusicLessonStudio.com. And I'll see you guys next time on The Sound Live. Thank you, Kyle.